Next question. Is GD using God's name in vain? Or is that the equivalent of God's name in vain? So is GD God's name in vain? Elaine, you want to talk on that?
Well, so I've never really been someone who was super offended by cussing. I'm not going to go actively out of my way just to start throwing the F word in like every other sentence just because I can. I think that there's purpose. And I think sometimes cussing in general kind of sometimes people overuse it and then it kind of loses the validity of it. I think there's a time and place to use different words,
Are
but
you
I also
saying cursing is okay?
I mean, I feel like there's a time and place for it.
I mean, there's cursing in the Bible.
Yeah.
Literally the story of Samson, and it says, they changed this in pretty much every other translation, but the KJV used to say that Samson took the jaw of an ass and made an ass out of all of his attackers.
Yeah.
So literally, like, I took this donkey and made a donkey of all of you. Sorry,
Yeah.
suckers.
I
So,
think like if you're just cussing just to be cussing, I think that's kind of stupid. There vocabulary is such a vast thing, and if the only word you can think of is the F word in every sentence, I feel like that's a little much.
right.
But also, like the GD, that's never really been offensive to me. I know a lot of people, especially in church, are like, oh, that's using God's name in vain, but it's never really bothered me. I see that just as I see the F word, just as I see all these other cuss words, and it doesn't necessarily bother me unless you're just using it, just be using it. But something that I saw one time on social media, I was looking through comments on some of these posts, and somebody was saying that somebody had revealed to them that taking God's name in vain isn't necessarily cussing, isn't necessarily using GD, though it could, isn't necessarily saying, oh my God, or oh my gosh, or whatever, isn't necessarily saying that, but taking God's name in vain is saying, well, God told me to tell you that you suck as a person, or God told me that we're going to get married as we're 13-year-olds in middle school or high school or whatever. God told me to tell you this, and it's actually not what God said at all. And they kind
It's a
of,
crap prophecy.
yeah, prophecy. People use God's name in vain to get what they want, to get something out of it, and that's not how God operates.
Sure. And so I just want to take a minute here and go ahead and get the spiritual, essence out of the room. God damn, using that word. Let's break that down what that means. God, it is a derivative word we use for Yahweh, or the Israeli God who sent Jesus Christ as a part of himself, for redemption, whatever, however you want to look at that. That's who we typically are referring to in God. God is a very subjective word. It is not like the name God is not God's name. You know what I mean? Like, God has lots of names to him. So we're using this word meaning creator, right? So, creator, I implore you to cast judgment or uh, damnation upon this. So, if you're cruising at a stoplight and you just drop GD because someone cut you off, what are you damning? Are you damning the situation like, damn, that was rough?
Mm-hmm.
Then, okay, like I'm saying, I'm not encouraging you to start dropping GD. Like, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's even a fun word, and it's very societally frowned upon. So,
Yeah.
like, that you could go into the whole, like, well, because it calls your brother to stumble. Yeah, I'm sure it probably could. It has for a lot of people, whatever.
Yeah.
Ultimately, is it going to, like, cause people to lose their faith? Probably not, but, like, sure, we should probably steer away from that. Like Elaine was saying, there's a time and a place for cursing, for certain things to express feelings and emotions, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, you're not going to need that. But if you were to say, like, God damn you, Satan, like, get behind me, or, God damn these bad thoughts I'm having.
Yeah.
Damn this this self-loathing mentality I have because of past errors. Cast them out. I am free in the name of Jesus. Like, whoa, okay, you just dropped GD.
So literal translation.
Yeah, it's literal. Like, God, I want you to do this. Now, if you say you pull up to a stoplight and someone gives you the bird and you're like, God damn that person, you're literally asking God to take another human soul and cast them out, to judge them. And I think God's going to, like, probably sit up there like, I'm going to do that. Sorry, I don't think you realize there's power in our words, right?
Yeah.
There's power in what we say. We have the ability, we have the authority over angels. We have the authority over the spiritual. We are a bridge, literally. We are the only creation on earth that is a bridge between the spiritual and the physical, the earth, the reality, and the ether, however you want to look at it. We are literally that bridge. We are a bridge unit. God took earth and breathed spirit. And so we have the ability to do things on a supernatural, honestly, supernatural level, to kind of get Pentecostal spooky a little bit about it. Like that we have that.
Well, and we were just saying, like, you can change God's mind.
Right.
Like, you have the authority to help God decide somebody's fate or something's fate.
So I don't think you should be encouraged to go like, I implore you, Lord, to damn that person for making me work late. How dare he? No, that's ignorance, and that's a false. You're using God's name in vain. That is vanity. Vain, the derivative, vanity. And the definition of vanity, just to throw this out there, is excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. Literally, like, God, I am so good that I'm going to implore you to do this. Or to look at it this way, like crap prophecy. This is one that kind of gets into my sins. Like, oh, God's telling me that you're just going to go work for these people and you're just going to serve them and you're just going to do anything for their just to boost them up. Or here's another one, and I'm not saying servanthood, that's a whole other conversation, like I'm not dogging on that, but it's the whole idea of like, if you just serve your leaders, God will reward your efforts and he'll elevate your platform, right? Okay, like I don't have anything against like coming and co-laboring with people, but what is this? It's like, it's got a genie. What's going on here? No, like, you're using God's name in vain to sit there and say like, well, God
for your
told
own
me.
glorification.
Right. You're literally trying to, yeah, it's for your glory. It's for, even if it's just like something simple of like, man, God just revealed to me like this thing about your life or whatever. If it's prophetic, even if it speaks to that person, I'm not saying God can't even use that, but if it's in you for your own glorification to make you look better, that's vanity. And that is God's name in vanity, right? It's kind of the whole thing of like the people in the Bible, the two men going and trying to cast out demons in the name of God, and the demon literally overcomes them, right?
Yeah.
He's like, Paul I know, Jesus I know, but who the hell are you? Like, and he's literally, I mean, that's like literally what he said. Like, they're damning the demons in the name of God, and the demon's like, no, like, I don't know who you are. Get out of here. And because they're speaking of an authority in which they do not understand.
Yeah.
And that's vanity. That is using God's name in vain. So it goes a lot deeper than just GD. Yeah. So is GD God's name in vain?
It depends on the context.
Yes and no. Yes and no. But it does help to have a better understanding of what that means.